And the next morning, I woke up with some random 30-year-old Mexican lady's back. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you? I'm 14. You're like 33. How the fuck did I get here? No.
You're living an interesting life for a 14-year-old.
And in LA in general, girls, no disrespect to the women who are gonna probably be watching this, but girls are thirsty as fuck out here, bro. Like, I lost my virginity in that skate park. I fucked like 30 women since then, all between the ages of 18 and 33. I'm like, how the fuck do I keep myself in this situations? I'm like, damn, you know? And, you know, I've always had to, like, use my mind. I always had to be resourceful. You know, how I make money. I go around asking people on the boardwalk if they have cigarettes. I see someone, like, smoking a cigarette. I ask if I have one. I say, like, but I don't smoke them. I say about, like, 30, 20 of them, you know? And then I sell it and make about $40 off that, you know? You just gotta keep a hustle. It's always about the money. You always gotta think about that.
Where do you sleep, typically?
I sleep, before I started sleeping in Daisy's tent, I was sleeping on the beach, you know? If not, then someone was offering me a place to stay just for the night, you know? And back about my mom, that's another thing she ruined for me. Someone's giving me a place to stay for the night, not just for the night, like permanently. And my mom called and she told him to call the cops, get me hostile. I didn't know what was going on, just so I can go back with her. You know how like fucked up that sounds, especially from my own mom. Like that shit hurt.
You don't want to go back to your family?
Nope. Because, I mean, honest, my family's trying to tear each other apart. When this all goes to shit, I don't want to be a part of it. They're trying to get me in trouble for something that happened over, like, 20 years ago. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? I know I made mistakes at night, my sister, but that doesn't mean I am the reason for the downfall of this family, you know? Like, y'all did some shit before I was even born, bro.
But, like, you know, the knife incident with your sister, you weren't really serious about doing anything with her. You were just...
I was just agitated, you know. My brain snapped into fight mode, you know. I wasn't thinking.
But you're not violent?
No. Typically, I'm not violent. I try to avoid situations.
Sometimes you are?
I can be.
Yeah.
I can get very aggressive, but it takes a lot. Because I learned a lot of things, and violence, the only thing that violence is going to do is either...
But living in the streets like this, you probably have to resort to violence sometimes.
Yeah, I've had to throw sand in people's eyes before just to get them off me, you know? And it does get bad at here, you know? Like, homelessness is a really bad problem in California in general, but people gotta take it under their understand. A lot of these people who are out here on the streets, they've been through way more than we can even comprehend. So while you're sitting there in your soft, nice, white bed with both parents who get a warm meal every day, you always gotta think there's someone struggling out here. So when people look down on homeless people, on people on the streets, you know, I'm like, what the fuck, you know? They're not even homeless. Technically, homeless isn't even a thing. They're just going back to our roots. We've been sleeping on this earth before we had beds, had couches. So they're just living naturally.
Good point. How would you compare Venice Beach to Skid Row?
Venice Beach to Skid Row. The first thing is that the culture is very different.
Yeah.
People are a lot more laid back here, and a lot more people will care. But because Skid Row in general is just bigger, it's a lot harder to get things done. Like the hustle is 24/7 there. You get to chill out here, but yet again the culture is like just so much more vibrant in Venice Beach than it is in Skid Row.
Yeah.
Like Skid Row, you have to pay attention. Venice, you just have to look around. You'll find something.
Yeah, a lot more snakes.
Yeah.
On Skid Row.
Yeah.
It's dangerous down there.
And they had a lot of rats. I saw this massive ass rat like this big. I'm like, what the fuck?
On Skid Row?
Yeah, I was like, there's a rat gotta be tasting like PCP or some shit, cause I don't know what I'm doing wrong. That rat is over there sitting in his little fucking hole in the wall just going, 20, 30, 50. Yeah. I was like, the fuck am I looking at right now? That rat taking steroids, I swear to God.
Do you have friends?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends.
You do? You have people you trust?
Yeah,
I mean,
especially in Venice.
Daisy seems cool.
Yeah, I trust her. You know, a lot of these people here in Venice, I consider less of friends and more like family to me, you know? The Lost Boys, all good. Daisy, Brandon, Oatleg, all of them people, Diablo, like everybody, I consider they're like family to me, you know? Because I didn't really have my family. You know, a lot of these kids grow up and they just don't truly understand what's going on, the truth about everything. So it's easy to understand like why they act the way they do, but I'm also grateful everything I went through. Because if I didn't go through everything I went through, you think I know that everything I did now? No, I grew up in the hood, you know. I've been gangman like Ghost Town Chris, Pomona Avenue, North Side. You know, like I got jumped in by one of my own homies, you know, by a homeboy. I got jumped in by the homeboy, you know, and it's like, but that's not what I want to do with the rest of my life. I don't want to be stealing. I don't want to be robbing jacking niggas for the shit because I don't have nothing to feed myself. And that's just not the way I want to live my life. That's why I'm trying to get emancipated right now, so I can stop dealing with all this bullshit. I start dealing with the system.
What would you like to be doing right now? You want to go back to high school?
Yeah, I want to go back to high school. I would like to be getting like my own place. I like to just live my life, you know. I just wanna be able to be happy without any worrying. Like, say I'm smoking a cigarette walking down the block, right? Someone says, "Hey, why you smoking cigarettes, fool? You too young." And then what I told them to that situation, act like you weren't doing the exact same shit when you were my age. And they walk off. They don't say nothing because they know I'm right. I learned to pick up on certain cues. Like the other day, I was walking down with someone down the boardwalk. Cause I have a conversation with them, and randomly they just go, "Well, you have a good day." I got the message that they had shit that they needed to do, and they needed to leave it alone. No further words needed. I just walked off. You know, just you have to pick up on certain cues, certain respect. Like the respect is just the most important thing in this world.
Well, what kind of lessons are you learning living in the streets at 14?
Some of the lessons that I'm learning is like, you know, you just gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful. Like, expect the unexpected and don't get your hopes up until you know that thing is gonna happen for sure. Like, even this, I wasn't getting my hopes up because I didn't know whether I'd actually be doing this or not. Like, it could have been scheduled but never done, you know? Same thing with me getting emancipated or adopted. They could just be saying that just to get my ass in a situation where I can be scooped up, sent back to that group home, you know?
You don't want to go back to the group home?
No, I don't want to. Like, it's a good place, you know, that group home was a good place, but it's just generally not what I want to be doing with my life, you know? I want to live a happy life. So when I'm an adult, I don't just say, "Oh, yeah, I grew up in my parents' house, this and this and that." I want to say, this and this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. This is the type of person I am today. I want to look back 20 years from now and say, this is not when I was having the most fun in my life. This is when I started having fun in my life. You know?
Yeah, you're living a very unusual childhood compared to most kids.
And I wish, like, none kids my age my age or younger ever had to go through this shit I'm going through. I wish, bro. Like, if I could go back to when I didn't, when I was oblivious and young and fucking dumb as fuck, and just playing on my PlayStation all day, just fucking listening to my siblings gab and fucking yap their asses off about some fucking football game or some shit. I'll do all that. I'll drop all this shit in a split second just to go back to that kind of life. Sometimes I want to travel back in time, but not to change things, just to live through things one more time, you know? Just to rethink about what happened to me, you know, my story, what I've been through. That's why I fucking love Venice, bro, because I can be myself here. I don't have to worry about no one saying shit. If anybody does, I already know what to say to them, you know?
All right, Billy. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
and I hope something works out.